Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back. Trying to get enough food in order to make these villagers want to have more babies.
If you put something in there like a wheat farm, would they feed themselves?
I think if they're farmers, which these guys are all fishermen, how do we make them farmers?
There's ways to change their profession now, right?
Yeah, you have to something with like the block. And actually, I have a couple of unassigned villagers that took away the block. I don't know what block it is that makes them a farmer, though. Look that up real quick.
Yeah.
Villager, because I think it's just if it's like the closest one and they touch it, they become that profession. I don't know how to change professions, but it might be the same thing. Didn't tell me how to make them a farmer at all. Villagers, action generation, job, farming.
I'm trying to look it up too.
This is not nearly as easy of a wiki to look through as I thought it was going to be. Trading, ranking.
I found an OMG craft video. Let's see what Chad has to say on the matter. Oh, got ads.
Oh, man.
What's the way, Chad? Show me the way. Oh, watch all your fucking ads, Chad. Hey, Chad.
Hi, Chad. What's going on, my friend? Hey, I think you can escape if I do this. Well, I can't escape either. That's annoying.
God, it's 8 minutes, Chad. Get to the point.
Come on, Chad. Could squeeze through this. Apparently not. Let's see what the Chad man has to say. Make sure he knows that he is an integral part of this build.
It's just so long. I mean, it'll take us the whole episode to get to where Chad gets to the damn point.
Yeah, one of these blocks is like a farming block, and I just need to know which one it is. Do we have one? I don't even know what half these blocks are. Not a cartography table. This block I can't interact with. Not an archery table. Not the loom, I would assume. Not the barrel. Farming villager.
Okay, he gets to the point at the very last minute of the damn thing.
Note to self, watching OMG Chad or OMG Craft, always skip to the end. Is that what you're saying?
Yep. Farmer needs a composter. Composter. All right, thanks, Chad.
Composter is just, oh, that's easy.
I wish you could pick up skeletons arrows.
Skeletons would be a great thing to pick up. Always wanted a good skeleton of my own.
If you could pick up their arrows, like this whole thing he's got going on, this skeleton that's just shooting this arrow at me constantly, I would just have an infinite supply of arrows.
He's just like, come on, take my arrows.
So, I had a thought about this area over here. If we have any more golems spawning out here, because I know it's a 16 by 16, I think we may have sorted it, but if we have any more spawn out here, we could just half slab it.
I mean, that might work. We just need to know if that they are actually in that range that we think that they're in.
Right. I haven't seen any spawn. We still have a zombie. Yeah, we do have a zombie.
Yeah.
Are they spawning in there with the villagers right now? Is that the problem?
I haven't actually looked. And the funny thing is, I still never made it so that we can actually, like...
Loot it?
Yeah, loot it and see what's down there.
I'm gonna see if I can make a path down there.
So how are things in your state? Like, are you guys preparing for hurricanes?
Is there a hurricane coming?
I don't know. That's what I was asking you. I mean, there's like tropical storms and stuff keep forming in like the Gulf, and they said this like one that's forming today is supposed to like break records and all this stuff, but I don't think that one's gonna affect you.
I don't know. There's too much stuff on the news, really, to talk about anything. You know, like, I mean, between the coronavirus and all the protesting and everything, I
And
haven't
killer
heard.
bees, whatever happened to those?
Oh yeah, the Japanese murder hornets or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
they're
you know,
old news.
though that's very old. That's news is at least 4 hours old, and no one knows about it anymore.
Turns out murder is not punishable anymore, so you know.
Right,
it
those
doesn't
are
matter.
actually cool bees.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. So no, I don't. I haven't seen anything about the weather at all.
Because I know this year they're anticipating it being like a really intense hurricane season.
Are they? I wonder how much effect we had on the climate in that short period of time when like China was locked down and all the emissions and stuff were much lower.
You
I
mean
wonder
like
if there was a
long-term effect.
I don't think there's a long-term effect, but I wonder if there wasn't a short-term one. You know what I mean? Like for I don't know enough about how weather works, so I'm just gonna talk like President Bush whenever he used to talk from his gut. And
Evildoers.
don't you remember how he would always trust his gut? Like anytime any policy had to be made, he'd be like, "Well, let me see what the gut says." He always talked about the gut. Anyway, man, what I wouldn't give for that man back as a president.
How sad is that?
I know, right? God. Anyways, I feel like it's been a lot nicer weather-wise lately, and I don't know that it has any. I feel like that would be pretty crazy for this short period of time without massive emissions to have that quick of an effect. But I imagine it's had to have some effect, even if it's one that's so minuscule that it's unnoticeable. Like, right? Like it had to have done something in a short period of time there, whenever the CO2 emissions went way down, right?
Yeah, sure, one would think, but you know, does temporary change matter?
I mean, and temporarily it does.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, I don't think that we made a change. All right, give me your coordinates where you're standing right now. Just put them in chat, actually. So I don't have to remember anything.
Hold on.
Like, try to get as close to over the lava as you can. Oh, this motherfucker found his way out.
Oh, where that guy's at?
Yeah, I'm trying to dig down there with the chest.
Right there.
And where I chose to dig down was incorrect. Actually, you don't have to put it in chat. Just tell me. I'm out here now.
Done.
Oh, okay. Good.
Sorry, it took me a while. Like typing hard.
Okay, so. And you're not quite over the guy, right?
I actually was pretty damn close to where he's at. Yeah.
Okay. I wonder how far down they are. What's your Y where you're at?
I'm at Y58, so he's probably at 50. Yeah, you're like right next to me.
Yeah. And then, so over some. What'd you say again? 368,117.
I was gonna say like you asked me, and it's in chat.
Yeah. No, I was really talking to myself.
Lots of beds in here. I gotta see if these guys turn into. Wondering if this is gonna mess things up. I didn't bring any dirt. Maybe that works.
Okay, so I found the lava blade. So I need to go just slightly lower.
Is anything in the chest? Do you see it?
I found the chest. I found the villager. There is a lot of stone.
That villager is still there. We need to get him to die.
Do you want me to kill him? Will it make me hated?
I don't. Yeah, I think it will. Like, can you kill him with lava in some way?
I don't have any. If I had some, I could, obviously. Oh, we've gotten 42 iron so far.
Not
Boy.
bad, but clearly not.
Groundbreaking stuff here.
We could make another couple hoppers.
Yeah. How do I kill this man?
I mean, just because he's hitting our, taking up our one of our bed spaces, probably.
Right.
I wonder if it makes them go like internally crazy if they can't sleep.
He's seeing visions of phantoms.
Me. I mean, it would be kind of. Oh God, you said phantoms, and I just heard phantoms.
Brought them into this world. I'm just gonna kill him. It doesn't matter if they hate me, right?
I don't know. Guess I don't see any phantoms anywhere though. That's kind of weird.
I placed a block in just to see if he would kill himself, and he did.
Okay, that works. He's like, I haven't slept in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I need to die.
You put 2 chests out here, but you didn't actually connect them. Funny enough.
Oh, well, I was just trying to make it look more full than it was.
And they're not connecting whenever I fucking try to anyways. What the fuck, game?
Figure out where the best place is to make a farm. Could we just like back in this wall?
Okay.
It's funny as I'm like just digging behind these guys and stuff's falling on their head while they're sleeping, and they're just like, nah.
All right, so got a way down here now. I should have made ladders. Like, I guess I got everything I need to
Oh
make
God!
ladders.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
What just happened?
Oh no! I sprung a leak.
I hear cats. Is that the same cat, or we gotten more cats? New
I
cats?
think it's probably the same cat. Okay, that didn't destroy anything. Probably the same cat, I would guess.
Is your wife still in Ohio?
Yeah, they're supposed to be coming back on Wednesday of next week.
Gotcha. So, you were at the fire department last night, right?
Yeah.
Did y'all have to respond to any? Have y'all had to respond to anything really?
No. I mean, we did go to a fire last night, but it wasn't riot related.
Gotcha.
Like the town that I'm in, it was so funny to like. It's like a rich town that I'm in, and people were like, they Montgomery County did put out a big incident response plan on like what if we have to start responding to riots, and like we're gonna set up these task forces. If your station gets compromised, like this is your station that you have to respond to instead. So they made a plan about it, which is like acceptable, even though it unexpected that we'd get something in our area. And everybody kept trying to say, oh no, man, it's not, it wouldn't be crazy if they made it here, like they made it down to downtown Silver Spring last night. Like, no, they didn't. Like, people are just like making up stories of where the riots, like, and where the protests were all happening and turning violent at. Like, there was, I mean, I guess it's possible that it did and had absolutely zero coverage of any type anywhere. Like,
right.
No news articles the next day about it. Nothing in the on the news at the time, even for the people there. So it's possible, but I think people are letting this stuff like get to the it's in DC, therefore it's here. We're right outside of DC. It must be here too. Like,
Right. Well, I mean, yeah. I've seen a lot. I mean, kind of like all the people that were saying the DC blackout. That didn't happen.
DC blackout.
You didn't hear about that?
No.
Oh man, it was like they Twitter suspended a bunch of accounts that were like making up shit about it too. But the night that Trump went into the bunker, they claimed that they cut all utilities and everything in DC. And
I will say, the day that Trump went into the bunker, I did have a power outage for about 2 seconds.
Oh, okay, well that was it. That was DC blackout.
I mean, woo, that was a rough one. That was good. They got me. They got me good. Like, to the point where I didn't even have to restart my computer because it maintained.
So yeah, that's just some. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of misinformation. That's the hard thing, and it's hard the way that the media is covering things. You see on social media, a lot of things that the police and stuff are doing, and you're not seeing that as much of that on the news. Like they're so focused on the negative, it feels like. I mean, it feels like when I watch the news, all I'm seeing is they're not, like for instance, if I watch Raleigh News, WRAL is the channel. They can't just focus on Raleigh, so they don't cover like the peaceful aspects of the protests. It's like, all right, here's where it's burning in Houston, and here's where it's burning in Seattle, and that sort of thing. And it feels like, I don't know, it just feels like there's a biased amount of coverage that's sensationalized and not focused on the meaning or the peacefulness of a lot of it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And besides the news, I will tell you that one thing. So I'm the shift officer at the on the nights that I'm there at the fire department, and I had to have like a talk with some of my people last night, and it's weird because it's coming across for one reason. Let me just tell the story because then you'll get it. Now I was explaining like I have to read out like even though the expectation of riots happening last night in our area were so minuscule and so low. I had to read out like, okay, this is, this came down from Montgomery County. This is what the plan is in case something happens. This is what we do. So I'm reading through the whole rigmarole. And one of the guys says, well, Chief told me in case in case shit starts to go down, he's like, the best thing is if they start like going after the fire, because part of the thing was securing all the equipment on the engine, be able to quickly get out and grab any easy to grab things that could be used as weapons, get them hidden, have a to-go bag at the station in case you have to evacuate out of a second's notice. Like this is all the stuff that they were, stating to us. And he said, yeah, I was told like if they start coming after the fire engine, like just, grab the deck gun, hit them up with the deck gun.
Jesus Christ.
And well, and I'm like, okay, if you're literally in a position where it is life, like you fear for your life because people are like coming after and starting attacking the fire department, that might be a rational response. I said, but judging by the way you're saying it, the way I can see it in your eyes, like you're excited thinking it's going to be fun to like start using the deck gun on crowds if things start to go crazy. Like, that's not the right mentality to ever try to take away from a situation like this.
Right.
Like this is part of the problem. And I understand. I don't think you're saying that because you're secretly racist and want to like go mow down crowds of people. You're saying it from a perspective of if shit hits the fan, this is what you do. But that's the type of person who goes, oh, people are walking toward our fire engine.
Right.
They must be out to attack us. Therefore, get the deck gun going.
It's like the South Park. They're coming right for us.
Right, exactly. Which is completely different than what the standard response would probably be of, like, if they start like throwing shit at us and trying to like rip stuff off and trying to beat us with our own equipment and stuff, maybe that would be a rational response, like life safety type of deal.
Sure.
But you're going to put on a completely wrong perspective and think about it. And I one of the things I even told him, I said, look around right now. Look at everybody who's here. All the people on shift tonight are white. How terrible of a picture is that going to be when you see a white guy on the top of a fire engine mowing down crowds of protesters with a deck gun?
Mm-hmm.
That's national news. Like,
and it goes back to like the segregation style riots where, you're spraying down black people with hoses, basically.
Right. So it's just, it's got people all riled up in a completely...
Well, I mean, it's an interesting topic that you're bringing up here because what I keep saying is it's not just about police reform. Like the problem is the society as a whole. Like we have fucked up for generations with the raising of our children. Like kids, like it's it's the same as, it's not the same, but it's similar to school bullying. Like it's the same type of mentality that allows that to happen. Treating people as unequal, and that needs to be stopped at an early age. Like humans should not be willing to attack people and treat each other this way, and that needs to change from the start. Not like just, I mean, yes, we do need to there needs to be police reform, obviously, but that's just part of the problem, in my opinion. Like I think it's a society-based problem, and I feel like it's very political. I mean, it's not even like, I don't think it's even opinion. I mean, it's definitely political. Like the way the rhetoric that our president shares and how racist he is a huge fucking problem. Like the problem goes all the way to the top.
Well, and it's just like, it brings you back to the whole Michigan thing, which is so much more in a terrible light now, because that's what everybody's like, you're demanding an end to these protesters who, when they're peacefully protesting, yet when people storm the Capitol in Michigan with
Guns.
AR-15s,
Right.
you're like, go, go, go! Don't let them stop your rights. Like
Right.
that's and what was the biggest difference in there is, yeah, I didn't see any pictures of anybody who was black during doing that stuff. Doesn't mean there wasn't, but it was clearly predominantly white, and it was showcased in the news as all those people were white.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. It's funny that well, not funny. Funny is the wrong word. It's ironic. I don't know what the right word is. That this happens now. Personally, because I just spent the last month, like, I don't know why. I guess because coronavirus, I was here at home or whatever. But I spent the last month basically researching the LA riots in '92, and like I've been reading a textbook on Black history from like a college course, and just I don't know, just kind of because it came up in my Discord. We were discussing this is before any of this stuff happened, before the George Floyd murder or any of this stuff. It came up, has race relations got better? And none of us really could answer that question. That's spurred because of the fact I'd watched the documentaries, like several documentaries on the '92 riots after Rodney King had died. And I think now my opinion, after reading all this stuff and everything, I think my opinion is not that it's gotten better. It's just that things are different. I was trying to put it on the scale of worse or better, and I don't think it fits on that scale. Like, things are better in some ways and worse in some ways, but I feel like we've concentrated the racism, especially like within the Republican Party, with Donald Trump leading them in like this constant racist rhetoric. We've concentrated that in these pockets in the United States where there's extreme racism that's almost celebrated. Like around where I live, there's tons of people that I feel like when I see a Trump flag flying, I associate it with the same as a Confederate flag. I don't think you can support Trump and not be racist at this point. The way he talks about people of color and of other nationalities in general, like I don't think that anyone that is a strong Trump supporter can distance themselves from the racist rhetoric and defend and not defend it. You know what I mean?
I would agree with the strong Trump supporter perspective, because I'm sure that there are people out there who are like, well, no, I really agree with this, these couple policies of Trump, and that's the reason I support Trump. And they could be accurate in saying that that's the reason that they support Trump. While you can still support somebody for viewpoints that are different than like the traditional Democratic viewpoint, while still condemning their other actions. So I do think there's a way to be a Trump supporter and not be a racist, for sure. But I do think that many of the extremely strong Trump supporters at this point need to look themselves really hard in the mirror, good close-up look in the mirror, to say, if I'm supporting this man just basically unequivocally that he is my president, I support him in everything he does because he is the greatest man ever, you really need to take a look in the mirror and wonder what's really happening there.
Yeah. Okay, I can agree with that. I think there are people that are hardcore Republicans, and that is all they know, and so therefore there is no other option. There's no other way. But I don't see how they can see everything that's going on and not realize that this is about more than just one incident. This is about years of problems, and about the fact that we've elected a man that celebrates this type of stuff, basically.
Yeah, that's gonna be hard for people to get away from.
Yeah,
I mean, it's really gonna. I hope beyond hope for just a landslide presidential election.
right.
Clearly not for our current person in office. And I know people get really mad that, here's a stupid iron golem outside.
Yeah, I know. I'm half slabbing the place up here now, hoping that they won't spawn up here anymore.
And I know there's I still have some commenters who are clearly Republican and support Trump, and I don't mean support him as in like that he's a racist. I mean just support him as the president and general policies or whatever. Who can have some very like normal conversations and things like that in chat, and I appreciate those people. And I like to hear from those people because I like to hear their thought processes on this stuff. But there's plenty of people who get extremely angry the fact that I am such an idiot for my viewpoint and how I can't see how the Democratic Party has ruined the world, and what Trump is doing is just to try to get us back to normal and blah 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 blah. And that stuff, I don't buy that shit for a second. Like that's just
Right.
that's ignorance in my opinion. But
Yeah, for years I've tried to be very supportive of all opinions on my channel, and I understand that there's people from all walks of life and everything, but this goes back to what I was saying earlier. I think that problem starts at an early age, and I don't support those people anymore. Like, thanks for being a fan, I guess, but I don't want your fandom. Honestly, like, if you're a hardcore Trump supporter, then I just wish you would leave. And I'm not like Jeff. I don't want to have a discourse on my channel in the comment section.
Here's my thought process on it. You're going to exist as a person anyway. I'd rather you see that ad revenue go to me than to some hardcore Republican.
That's true. I mean, I used to like
Alex
to think
Jones type site,
right. I used to like to think that the more I talk to these people, maybe they would see the rational stance on things. But I feel like at this point, like, there's enough of it in your face publicly all the time that if you can't see the writing on the wall, then whatever I say is not going to change your mind either.
Oh, what was it? God, I wish I could remember what the comment was now that I responded to, and somebody it wasn't about like Republican viewpoints, but it kind of was. It was about the whole side of the COVID viewpoint, and somebody tried to say that what people are trying to do, and this was when they were still like borders hadn't opened, people hadn't opened up the cities yet, and they were delaying and things like that because cases had started to go up and nobody was sure if they were going to get into phase 1 and all. And somebody made a comment about how now all they're doing is they're trying to control everybody. They're trying to just push the goalpost, because originally it was just about social distancing, and now it's all about the second wave. And I responded to that with, but if the second wave happens because we stop social distancing, then it is all about social distancing again. Like, it's not, nobody's pushing any goalposts here. They're still fighting the exact same thing, just at a different time. Like, so I do get those comments a lot, and that was clearly, and you don't want to, say it, but that was clearly a politically biased statement.
Right.
They didn't say anything about being, I'm a Republican, so therefore no. But it was clearly from, watching Fox News versus watching, something else.
I think that
I alienate so many people, like, because it's just.
I mean, that's the thing, is I don't care anymore. Like, if I alienate the people that have that kind of viewpoint, then good, I guess. Like, they're not welcome here, I guess.
Well, but isn't that part of the problem with things like Fox News, CNN, MSNBC? Is if you alienate the people from those channels who disagree with your viewpoint, you only have one crowd you're catering to anymore, and that's how misinformation can spread.
I understand that, and that's kind of why I said what I said a second ago about, I used to think that maybe if I kept talking to these people in a rational way, they would see the light. But I think that the time has passed. If, like I said, if you can't see the writing on the wall now, like, you're a lost fucking hope, I guess. You're a lost cause. Can't be saved.
I do have a very, very, very bad feeling with all this random shit that keeps happening in the world. First COVID, and then, giant killer bees and all that stuff. And now, the protests and riots. We're going to get this shit cleaned up one way or another. And like a week later, it's going to be announced, oh my God, NASA's found a meteor headed straight toward Earth.
Well, you saw that Russia said today that basically they're authorizing the use of nuclear weapons for anyone that negatively affects their government or state, basically.
Did you kill the stairway up here? Oh, no, wait. That was weird. So what do they mean by negatively affects? Like,
it wasn't very clear. It was kind of vague, We're just going to nuke some people.
I mean, I guess if it's Russia at this point, it's good that, Donald Trump wants to be his fuckboy for now, so we're not really...
Well, we recently said we wanted to start testing nukes again. You saw that, right?
I did not, but it doesn't...
Yeah, Trump said he authorized the use of nuclear testing again. Which, what the fuck are we testing?
Nukes.
Thanks.
No problem. In case you didn't hear yourself.
Yeah, thank you.
It was nukes.
So yeah, that's cool. Let's test some nukes, I guess.
It's I also find it baffling, though it shouldn't baffle me that much. But I did read a newspaper article that this weekend did Trump tried to get the G7 summit to he made a petition for them to let Russia back in.
Right.
I'm just like, really? Really? Now is when you find is the best time to try to let your butt partner back in. Like in the middle of all this is when you're like, G7, by the way, it's time for Russia, right?
Yeah. No, the man has no fucking conscience on what's actually he's an idiot. He's just an idiot. He can't see the writing on the wall. He can't see what the temperature of the room. Like he's just like yesterday, gassing people and fucking violently hitting people and all of this just so he can go take a picture in front of a fucking church, pushing the pastor out of the church so they can take a picture in front of the church. He's a fucking idiot.
No, they didn't. Isn't that what he said?
Oh well, yeah, he did say today that didn't really happen. So I mean, I guess my eyes are lying to me.
Yeah, I mean, you must have been watching one of those flat Earth channels or something like that.
So.
Where they just change everything to.
Anyways, we should probably end this episode. I know that people probably want to be entertained and distance themselves from all of this, but I mean, there's so much shit going on. Like, how can you not talk about it all? It's frustrating, and it's affecting all of us. And if you don't think it affects you, you're wrong. It affects every one of us.
Yep.
Anyways,
absolutely does.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you're doing well.
See you next time.